Hey, this is Brian. Thanks so much for watching Keys Motorsports. Today we have a special guest, Tommy L. Garage, and we are going to be installing an Apple TV4 in his F80 M3. Now the first part of this process, because we are dealing with the electronics, is to disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. So grab your 10mm, and in the F80 M3, your battery is located right over here in the back, and it's this one right here. So just loosen it up. Do not remove the nut all the way. Wiggle that off and push it to the side. Now with the battery disconnected, do not shut your trunk because it's a pain to open. What we like to do is take a microfiber towel and just loosely tie it here, so if anybody accidentally tries to shut the trunk, it won't latch and you won't have to crawl through that small little hole to try to open your trunk. Now what we want to do, just to make sure that everything is protected, is we're going to take some brand new microfiber towels. We're just gonna lay them down and around because we don't want to scratch the carbon, the plastic, or the leather. All right, everything now is well protected. What we can do is just very carefully, up here, we're going to insert our trim tool and we're going to release this lower compartment right here. And this is just going to rock down. Now what we can do is we can see the two connections back here. So if you just lift that piece of plastic, we're gonna just slide that out. And on this one, there's a little clip. Push that in, pull it out. Then we're gonna set this in a safe place. The next thing we need to do is we need to take this piece of dash trim off. So what I like to do is take a trim tool. I want to very carefully start in this side over here and work your way across. There's two little clips over here. These are by far the most difficult one, especially if you're leaning across trying to not get the camera shot. So once we have that, I like to just use my hand. Just get in here just very slowly, very carefully. Again, make sure that these two are completely disconnected. We'll slide this out. Then what I like to do is I like to push out the lock and the hazard button. There's a little clip right over here. We'll just take that out of the way. And there's one other connection right up here. Once you release that, you're good to go. Again, you can put this in a safe place. Now what we're going to do is we are going to remove this faceplate right here. There are 4 T20 screws just located right here. Just very carefully remove these and set these to the side. Then what you can do, we're going to gently remove this. Now there's one more connection. Disconnect this. Put this in a safe place. Now that that's out of the way, there are 2 screws that are going to be securing this head unit. This is an NDT Evo. Release these. All right, so this is ready to be worked on. Now what we need to do is we need to remove the screen. Again, there's 2 T20 screws. Once you've done that, I'm just gonna slide the head unit out and just set it on our towels. And this is going to give me some more slack. And this wire right here, it goes to the screen. So now what you can do is just gently wiggle the screen up. All right, so then on this connection, on the video cable, there's a little cable. You just press it into the side right there and then just wiggle it out. It's a little tough to get out, but just work at it and you'll get it. Now what we need to do is we need to grab a 10mm. There are 2 10mm nuts under here. You'll just have to trust us, and when we pull the panel out, we'll show you exactly where they are. Reach under with your 10mm. And what we're doing now is we are going to remove the glove box. It's going to give us access to this cavity right there. It's going to be the perfect place to mount the multimedia interface and also the Apple TV4. Now what you can do is just take your hand over here to the side, just gently work it in. Release these clips, and we're going to slide this whole panel down. There's just 2 connections, so remove those and then pull it out. And then with this out, you can see that there's a spot right there and a spot right there. That's where the 10mm nuts are. So again, it sits like this. Just reach up with your 10mm nuts, remove those, and if you didn't know, your car might have a 12-volt socket underneath your passenger's foot. It's a package, so not all cars have it, but whenever we do these, people seem to be pleasantly surprised when they do have it. So now what we need to do is we need to remove this panel on the side. So to do this, just gently insert a plastic trim tool. Never use anything metal. And then just get it to where you can get your fingers in there. Just work your way down, We're gonna pull the weather stripping off. It's going to give us access to just take this and pull it completely out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change it up. We're going to use a T25. There's a hidden screw right in here. This is the most commonly missed screw. People take all the other ones out and they wonder why their glove box won't come out. All right, so now I'm gonna show you on Tommy's iPhone what we're gonna do. Basically, there are 4 T20 screws that hold the glove box in up top. Underneath, there's 4 more, but what you need to do is you need to lower the airbag out of the way. We're not going to actually disconnect it, but we are going to lower it down. So you're going to need a T20 and also a T30. So, as I look under here, you can see right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here that are held in place. So these are T20s. And also here's the airbag right here. Underneath the airbag, I don't know why you put them here, BMW. There's also a T20 and a T20. So what we need to do is we need to remove this T30 and this T30. Don't actually disconnect it, just lower it down. We're gonna remove those, then we'll be able to get those, and then we'll be able to pull the glove box out. All right, so we have our T30. And our T30. There's one there, and there's this little plastic tab. So what we're gonna do is just release that, and then we're going to just gently place it over here, out of the way. All right, with that out of the way, we can remove these 4 T20s. Now what you can do is open your glove box, and like we were saying before, there's 4 T20s that sit right across there. All right, with that removed, there's nothing holding the glove box in, so you just very carefully pull it out, just like that. There's going to be some connections, so you're going to need to just disconnect these. I'm gonna start over here. Disconnect those. We're gonna put this in the trunk. All right, now what we need to do is we need to set up the MMI, the Multimedia Interface. Now, from the factory, BMW doesn't have a way to hook in an HDMI for your Apple TV, so you're gonna need the Multimedia Interface. So, to do this, there's a couple plug-and-play harnesses. Here's our quad lock here. What we're going to do now is we're gonna set this up, and most importantly, we're gonna route all of the wires to this cavity right here, because this is where everything is going to be securely mounted. There's gonna be no rattles, and everything's gonna be nice, neat, and out of the way. So what we can do, we can take our video cable that we removed earlier, and just get this. We're gonna route this down and out the side over here. There we go, give ourselves nice, easy access. This is our quad lock here. This is what is currently connected into the head unit and what we're going to be installing again. Basically, it has this little lever and it locks it in place. So what we need to do on the system right now is we need to grab this and we need to open it. And as you're opening it, there's this little plastic piece over here that's going to push it away from the head unit, making it easier to uninstall and also reinstall. You just get this little lever right there, and then you just slowly push it out of the way. Some of these you might need to just move for a second there. And there you have it. We have our quad lock removed. Now what we need to do is take your pick tool and you need to release your optic cable. Just pull that down and it looks just like that. And this is going to sit on the end spot where there's 2 holes. So you're going to take this out. Then what you can do is on your new quad lock, you're gonna put it back in the exact same spot on the end there. So just take it like that and clip it into place. And this is going to make sure that you have audio and that there's no other issues. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take the connection that's coming out of the car with our new quad lock. We're going to make this connection. And once you press it in place right there, you just take that lever and lock it down. I'm just going to push this down and out of the way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our new connection here, slide it into the back of the head unit, and you guessed it, we're going to slide that little lever down. And what that's going to do, once we get everything lined up here, is it's going to pull everything into the head unit and it's going to lock in place, making sure that it's not going to move. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these wires, we're going to route them behind and out that hole that we routed the video cable through before. Now what you need to do is you need to get your new video cable. Now you'll notice that the connection is a little bit different if you're looking at this side or this side. So what you want to do is figure out what it looks like on here. So as I can see, this one is not the correct side. But if I put these side by side, it looks identical. So this is the one that I need to route up through here. And this will be our new main video cable. So route it up there just like that, and then just tuck it under your vent. Now what you need to do to make sure that everything is going to be displayed properly is you need to configure your dip settings. Now, these are going to control if HDMI 1 is enabled, if HDMI 2, if you have aux audio and all of that. Even if you want to add a rear view camera or a front view camera, it's possible. You just have to tell the machine what you're going to be adding and what not. So what we're going to do, just to save any confusion, is we're going to have all of those settings down in the description below. So we have gone ahead and we have preset Tommy's MMI, and we can start plugging everything in. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start plugging things in. So let's start with the video cables. You'll see that there's LVDS out and LVDS in. The LVDS in is going to be the BMW OEM signal that's coming from your head unit. The out is going to be the new cable that we routed up to the screen. So at this time, we can plug this in. So once again, in is the in signal and out is the out signal. Pretty easy. Next, what you can do is you can take the cable that looks like this. This is our main power. We're going to just plug that in. It snaps right in place. Then we have our other wire harness. This is pretty much any accessory. So it's going to be US power. It's going to be audio and all of that. We're going to just hook this right here where it says multi. Now what we're going to do is we are going to connect the RCA cables, and this is what's going to give us audio. Now this one's a little bit backwards, kind of seems a little funny, but the one that's actually coming from that new quad lock connector says audio in. So what you need to do is you need to get the audio out. So the best way to think about this, it's not really backwards because the audio is going to start at the Apple TV, it's going to go through an HDMI cable, it's going to be at the MMI, and then it's going to go out and in to the radio. But at first glance, it may seem like it's a little bit backwards, but it's the right way to do it. So we'll hook that in just like that. So at this point, the MMI is fully installed, and now we're ready to install the Apple TV. Now on the Apple TV, there are two different connections. We have HDMI, which is super simple. So you take your HDMI cable, you hook it in there, and then you take the other end, and I have this programmed, so it's going to go through HDMI 1. So we'll just hook that in just like that. The next thing we need to do is we need to get power to our Apple TV. Once again, these are configured to work in your BMW, so they won't work in your house. What we need to do, as you'll see, one says ground and one says 12 volt. So we are going to tap this into our power harness. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the power to the red and the ground to the black. Black, not block. I don't know why I said block. Now when it comes to wiretapping, I like to use posi taps. The way that these work is it has this little piece. You connect this to your wire that you want to tap in, and then the wire that you want to tap, there's this little channel and there's a little pin. And as you tighten this down, the pin goes through the cable. The cool thing about it is if you ever want to change your mind, it's fully reversible. You just take it out, put a little piece of electrical tape, and you're done. So that's what we're going to do today. So I like to start with the power. Not that it really much matters. And just thread that in just like that. And we'll put the ground on. And I'll twist the backs off here. To connect this side, you just slide this little piece of plastic down. The metal is going to make contact inside. And you just tighten this right down just like that. Then we're going to do the same thing with the ground. You just strip off a little of the insulation, and then everything is nice and tight. Now what we need to do is take that video cable Just clip it into the back of your screen like so. And just set the screen in. And once you've done that, I'm just gonna push the head unit in just for a second here. We are going to reconnect the battery, do some testing, make sure everything is good. So when you're doing this, sometimes the audio isn't going to work. So what you need to do, there's going to be an extra cable in your box. You route it up under here, and you just plug it right into the aux, and you'll have perfect audio. So now with everything reconnected, what we're going, for the most part, what we're going to do is reconnect the battery, and we're going to do some testing, make sure that everything is working excellent, because if something isn't working, now is the time to find out, rather than after you put your car completely back together, and then you have to take it apart again. So let's make sure that everything's working, and we'll keep going. Take your negative terminal, put it on here, just press it down like that. All right, moment of truth. The car turns on.
Starting regular recording.
Oh, it's talking to me. That's nice. All right, so what we're going to do to activate the Apple TV, you're gonna press and hold the menu button for about 3 to 5 seconds or so. Oh, and look at that. We have a beautiful picture on our screen from our Apple TV. And boom. Whoa. Look at that. Dude. All right, so we'll open up an app. So the most popular app that people use on this is Waze, me included, because I don't like BMW navigation. So it's pretty cool.
Oh my goodness.
And as you can see, it's pretty responsive as well. Now, if you've never used an Apple TV before, what you need to do is you need to set it up on a network. So because we're going mobile, you're going to need to have a personal hotspot on your phone. So you just set that up, you go into your Wi-Fi settings, and you set everything up in the Apple TV. Now, once you do it one time, everything should stick. So that way, every time you get in your car, you're not gonna have to reset everything up. Everything is just going to automatically connect as long as your hotspot is still enabled. Now with the Apple TV4, you can mirror most apps on your phone, and you also have access to all of the native apps on the Apple TV because you are using your phone's network. So if you don't see an app that you like to use, you can go to the App Store and download it, but we don't recommend this while driving, but you can get Netflix, you can get iTunes, you can get all of the apps that you've come to love on your Apple TV at home in your car. Now what we need to do is we need to configure the audio. So to do this, we're going to go into our audio settings, and we're going to use the aux channel. Now with this kit in this car, what we're going to do is we're going to hold the number 7, and that's going to store it. Now we also have it configured so when you hit number 7, it's going to flip it to the correct audio, and you're going to get the Apple TV instead of holding menu for 5 seconds. And then if you hit 7, it'll kick you right back out, and you can go to your other presets or carry on with your day. All right, so at this point, we just got done testing the audio. Now for YouTube copyright reasons, we're not gonna play any music or anything, but it did work. Again, if it did not work, what you do is you just take these RCAs, you connect it where we connected the other one, and then you're going to route this little 3.5 millimeter jack. You're gonna put it in your armrest in the aux slot. So let's start to put the car back together. We're gonna disconnect the battery again just to make sure we're safe, put everything back, do some final testing, and we're good to go. Now this next part's going to be a little bit difficult to show, so I'm just going to do it and then we'll show you the final result. But basically what we're going to do is we are going to take our multimedia interface. It's going to go in this cavity over here. Plenty of space to mount it. Also with the Apple TV, we're gonna make sure everything is tight, secure, and we'll be done. All right, at this point, everything is secured. Whenever we do installations, we really like this Tessa tape. It's pretty much just automotive loom tape. Make sure that you're not gonna have any rattles. We use tons of 3M tape, lots of zip ties, electrical tape, and the works. So as you can see, everything is here, nice and neat. I'm shaking this, the car is shaking, but it's not moving, so there shouldn't be any rattles. Everything is nice and solid. So what we're going to do now, we're not going to film step by step, just put everything back in the reverse order that was removed, and you're done. So enjoy your new Apple TV4. All right, so at this point, we just finished reassembling Tommy's car. Everything looks as it should from the factory, but we have that Apple TV fully implanted in his dash. And what do you think about it?
I love it. What I love about it is, no, I really do.
Good.
I love two things about it. First thing is screen mirroring. You can, no matter what you have on your phone, you can just put it up on the screen. Waze is a big thing. When you're navigating, you can just, instead of looking down at your phone, you can see it on the center console on the BMW screen.
Navi's terrible, so that helps too.
Yeah, terrible-ish. Not as bad as Volvo or Mercedes.
Oh yeah,
those are worse. But and then number two, what I really like about it is the remote control. This comes with a remote control. It's this tiny. It's right there in the middle. Look how cool it is. I'm probably not going to use the remote control because you don't really need it, but you can tell people that your car comes with a remote control. And this little touchpad here, you can see it's nice and smooth. I really love it. So this was worth the money and effort.
Definitely.
And before he jumps to his section, I want to say thank you to Brian and Keys Motorsports for doing this install.
No problem.
And he's the reason why a lot of us are doing what we're doing when it comes to modifying our cars. So he's truly passionate guy and a true enthusiast. So if you are looking for something like that or anything for your BMWs, hit him up. Great guy.
Awesome. If you haven't followed Tommy yet, be sure to follow Tommy L Garage. We're gonna have a link in the description so you can check out his channel. So once again, this is Brian and this is Tommy L Garage. Thank you so much for watching Keys Motorsports. If you are interested in an Apple TV or other awesomeness for your BMW, be sure to check us out at keysmotorsports.com. Be sure to give us a like, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.